Alright, thank you for joining Lily Laser and Beauty. What we're doing right now is a digital skin analysis which will analyze for sun damage, bacteria, clogged pores, texture of the skin, and evenness of skin tone. What I've already done with this customer is I have taken her basic first and last name, but also her age. Because once we're done with the skin analysis, it's going to match up what her real age is to what her skin's age is. So it could be older, younger, or the same. So what I'm doing now is I'm just setting the area that I'll be measuring with the skin analyzer. And what this does, it takes two pictures. So the first picture is in regular light. The second picture is in this blue light. And what you can see is on the surface, the skin tone looks even, but underneath you're able to see more sun damage, freckling, and things that, it gives a more in-depth look at what's going on in the skin. So we're going to analyze. So with each area, the 6 areas that it's measuring, it's going to give me a percentage. So the higher the percentage, the more something needs to be improved. It will also give me, for that particular area, an age range. So some people, if they have a lot of sun damage, their age for sun damage could be, say they're 32, like Julie is. Their sun damage could then be 35, 36, if there's a lot. So we'll see what this says for her. This is also really good to do if you've never had a facial before or you're not sure which type of facial to get. You know, based on the customer's concerns as well as what I see on the score here, we're able to marry up the best facial for your skin at that time. This is the other thing that this is good for. It helps us as estheticians to do our job better, to assess sun damage. You can also see, based on this image, actually the darker the spot, the more to the surface it is, the easier it's to get we're able to get rid of it. Sometimes the lighter spot, it's actually deeper in the skin, all the way down to the dermis. So sometimes they're a little bit more difficult to treat, so we can get a more realistic idea of how we can treat this customer with facials and home care product. Okay. So we're going to look at this first one. So this first one is evenness of skin tone. So 9.63% is low, so she has very even skin tone, so that's not an area of major concern. So next is clogged pores. All these little blue dots here indicate where there's a clogged pore. So the score is much higher, it's 47%. So that's something we'll need to work on during the facial. The third is also roughness. So you can see where she had more of the blue dots, the clogged pores, it's also rougher. So if the skin's really congested, it's not going to be smooth. Also, if it's dry and dehydrated, it's also going to be a little flaky. So we just know that these areas where it's yellow and green, we're going to focus a little more exfoliation. Next is wrinkles, which is 27%. That's pretty good. Now this one is bacteria. So there's a high amount of bacteria on the skin. So what this is telling me sometimes is that, you know, skin naturally has bacteria on it. So there is going to be a small percentage of that. But if somebody's cleanser is not working properly, we're not getting rid of the bacteria, and that allows for more free radical damage to the skin and a little bit of the breakdown of the skin of it trying to fight off too much bacteria. This is also good to know if somebody has acne, if the bacteria level is high, that, you know, their cleanser or the product that they're using isn't working for them. Okay, so next is sun damage, also a little bit on the higher side, 66%. So all these little spots underneath, that's all coming up as sun damage. So what we're going to do now is look at the total report. So this customer is 32 years old, and it has her total age as 32. And then it gives me ratings based on the areas of most concern. So the top two areas are bacteria, sun damage, and roughness. So those are the areas that I want to focus on. So I'm actually going to, since this customer doesn't break out at all, we're not going to be too concerned with the bacteria. During the facial, we'll be able to get rid of that. The areas that I want to focus on are the sun damage. And since we all know that's a big cause of aging, if I go to the sun damage score and I hit next, I'm able to add and see, which facials work best for that area. And you can see she's 32, but it has her sun damage as 34. So this is something that we want to address. We also have a list of home care products that would work with that area of concern. So the two facials that come up are wet microdermabrasion and our vitamin C facial. Both help to exfoliate the skin, which will address the roughness. They also both help to brighten and get rid of pigmentation and stop melanin production in the skin. Now the last point I'm going to make is that this can be saved. So the one thing we can do is track progress. So sometimes people will get a series of facials over a period of time. Say we did 5 wet microdermabrasions once a month. We can reassess and do this again, and we're actually able to see the different scores next to each other. So we can assess if there's progress that has been made due to facials and home care products. So this is a really good tool to have, and this can be saved, and I can pull this up anytime. If you have a customer that's new or somebody that maybe you haven't seen in a while, and you want to take a look back, okay, this is what's going on. It's a good refresher. It helps estheticians to do their job better. Well, thank you for joining Lily Laser on the description of the digital skin analysis.